gotta give Ground Zero more than 0.1% chance to take it. This Ground Zero squad has earned the respect, and we might see some fireworks.
Yes, it would not be the first time, and there is a decent amount of potential. I mean, they're right. Anfis has played well. Torsas has consistently been a top performer in the Oceanic region. And as well, early pressure, ding dong, open the door, it's Ground Zero.
And it's none other than Amphis, that young gun coming out of OCE off the sidewall, punching it dead center. And that's a quick start. You heard Garrett G in his interview. He said, we've lost every game one except in the last series versus Vitality. A loss here, that might shake them.
It definitely would, considering how they felt about it. That is not the start you like to see as well. A quick concession. NRG trying to find a nice goal back. Torsas, indeed a good save.
NRG gearing up on the attack. The Ground Zero defense holding firm for now. Justin taking time around one. Leaves it for another. Garrett didn't want to commit everything to that play. And that one's trying to sneak in underneath the crossbar.
Surprised that one got through so uncontested. I mean, Express and Torsas both just kind of following the ball here. And Express, I think, just read the spacing on that challenge a little differently, thinking Torsas was going to be the one to drive it in to the NRG attacker at the midfield. And in fact, he was just straight out paced.
Express having full confidence in that challenge. Came back to bite him. Now tied up at one apiece. Express downfield. Ground Zero team. I mean, you even heard Gregan's numbers. I would have to agree. Ground Zero, such an underdog in this matchup, but we've seen these teams from OCE perform brilliantly at this major. And this would be the crown jewel, being able to take out the general NRG to move on to the playoff round.
There's a lot on the line for NRG, as they mentioned on the desk. Of course, what a save. Torsas across the goal line to keep that one out. And so far, actually, they're playing pretty solid defense against an NRG that, while not pressing, I think, as hard as we know they can, they are making them really go through the paces, I would say, on defense and make sure that there's no gaps there in the fundamentals of it.
But NRG's been able to keep possession. Squishy flip reset, air dribble. That was amazing from Squishy.
Well, it says make sure there's no gaps in the fundamentals. Can you defend the flip reset plus the extra touch? Not quite. Torsas coming off the back wall, a little behind the ball, and Ground Zero finally unable to catch up to an approach.
Just combine the years. You know, when we first started out, air dribbles were a thing to be amazed at. Then flip resets. Now, Squishy just going to combine them both. The go-ahead goal for the general NRG. Despite getting that first goal, Ground Zero find themselves fighting from behind. Squishy to Garrett, a banger, top shelf.
Tough one to handle here for Amphis. You see this outlet pass here. Justin able to just straight beat Torsas. Torsas thinking they've got Justin on the ropes, and that just shows you don't play enough against Justin. Everyone I think in North America knows Justin's always got a chance to get up and tip that one back, and unfortunately just perhaps a bit of unfamiliarity there. He just flips it right down to his teammates, who score a nice 1-2 pass goal.
But again, we see some nice set pieces off the kickoff from Ground Zero. It's that type of attention to detail that it's going to take to beat a mechanically talented team like NRG.
Oh, jeez, that's not even fair. That is classic NRG attack right there. Beat the man. Squishy, flip across. Justin, beat Torsas off the goal line. Garrett G, keep it away as they recover. And then, when they're finally out of options, deliver the final blow.
You see how many flip resets were going on right there? NRG! They are making a statement, Achieves, and you know they want it. As Johnny said, it has not been a clean Swiss stage for NRG. Ooh. Justin making a clean save.
A real big opportunity here for Torsas. Gonna deliver, get him right back into the mix. 2 goals down, 2 minutes remaining, and a nice quick go at the offense for Ground Zero here.
And that play from Amphis, catching the ball in the corner, dribbling it up to the sidewall. Both goals for Ground Zero. Amphis at the heart of it.
That's really what you're looking for Ground Zero to achieve. You know, you have to find some way to manage the challenge game against NRG, and that's always the most difficult part when you feel like you're against some of the quickest players in the world here with NRG. And perhaps taking it down into the dribble, I'm not sure if that's actually the play for NRG. I think they really would hold a big advantage if they continuously went for the long clear game and just tried to chase it down.
And we're already seeing what they can do in the air. The flip reset, air dribble from Squishy. The flip reset off the backboard from Garrett G. But now on the attack. Oh, it's shut down. Demo from Squishy. Now Justin, tons of space, trying to push that into an air dribble, but Express closing down the midfield option.
Oh, great dribble from Amphis. You love to see the attempt at regaining possession.
Garrett G again going for the backboard. Torsauce. 50, gets help from Amphis. Another 50 will pop it. Will Express go? Gonna lay off. Leaves it for Garrett G. Ceding a lot of ground to NRG. Their dribble. 50 from Torsauce off the ceiling. Now Squishy wanting to clear it out. Ground Zero running out of time. They started off this game with a goal. They brought the series back within 2, but they've got to get one soon.
And I think they did a real nice job here, at least to contain themselves after NRG came back after that opening goal. Amphis trying to give them a look at an equalizer, and they're not quite out of it yet.
Oh,
double commit, though, and that's going to put a lot of pressure here on Express to contain the counterattack.
Express retreating all the way back to his corner boost. Will make the stop. The fake from Amphis, having to make bold plays. Now downfield, Justin, backboard pass. Squishy back to Justin. Justin putting it over to Garrett. One too many passes, but the general NRG can afford to melt this time off the clock. And that pinch will be wide. And the general NRG, they got off on the wrong foot, letting Amphis get that highlight. But then bouncing back, looking good, scoring quite a few and taking this game comfortably.
Yeah, a nice middle game there for NRG, consistently finding a way to work out Ground Zero's defense into a position where it was just really untenable to continue to hold, executing on the mechanical approaches, continuously finding extra opportunities with the challenge game, and then the great control over on the offensive side. And you have to give credit to NRG, of course. It's not always the easiest thing in the world to execute on those. They make it look real easy, but Ground Zero did make them work for it. And you do have to give Ground Zero credit for finding a way to at least stop the bleeding. They had it back in at least a reasonable position with 2 minutes left, down 2, and it was just like, okay, can we find a way back into the offense, get ourselves more pressure going forward into the series, and see if we can make a game out of game 1.
And they did make a game out of it, and a lot of it was thanks to Amphis. Amphis brilliant right off the bat. That goal to start things out, then the dribble in the corner, feeding Torsauce to get that second goal. That is what Ground Zero is going to need. And you also saw Express down there on the bottom of the scoreboard, only 64 points. They don't tell the entire story of the game. We did see some good midfield challenges from Express, but Express was that player that Cheeseman called out, saying he was having the tournament of his life. So he's going to have to step up here if Ground Zero want to bring this series back against the general NRG.
And definitely agree with that. We've seen that from a couple of people like Kaio. He had a bad game, and as soon as he turned it back on, got his team right back into the series, turned it all the way around, and they ended up winning it. So if Kaio is able to find his spot in the rotation here against NRG, Ground Zero may well be on their way back.
But another Game 1 win for NRG, and we saw what that meant against Vitality. Justin with space going up, flip reset, challenged by Express. The midfield presence there. Justin, he doesn't rotate out. He was going for it all.
Wanted the world there, and a nice hard shot. Garrett G avoiding a demo and a solid clear out into the corner. And here comes again that NRG counterattack. They actually missed the midfield boost, and that means that, unfortunately for them, Ground Zero's got more than enough to handle this one on defense, and NRG not going to be able to capitalize on them having to waste some extra time over on that Ground Zero half to stay up on boost.
Amphis breaking up the play. And you saw Garrett G retreating all the way back. There was no boost at the mid, no boost in the corner. Some boost struggles for the general NRG. First minute has come and gone. No goals on the scoreboard. Might see one here, but that's blocked. Torsauce getting the boost, leaving it for Amphis. Squishy, good challenge. Bouncing down, Torsos will take that to the corner. And another hit, surprising NRG at the midfield.
I might be wrong about what I thought earlier about NRG holding a big advantage over just, go and bomb the ball up the pitch. That might actually play right into Ground Zero's hands. I think it may be better served keeping it close to the floor, because right now they are doing an excellent job from NRG's perspective on manipulating those challenges in their favor.
See which route they go with. In their own corner, Garrett trying to get that challenge. He did get a piece of it, but it flies all the way to the opposite NRG corner. Garrett bumps, will go up high and can't make the redirect happen. Not enough boost to make the play.
They're trying for him, but even still, I think the Ground Zero defense definitely set up their Amphis, trying to catch up, not give Garrett G a free clear attempt. Torsos trying to find a gap on the back wall as well of NRG, and unfortunately, already rotated back, and here goes Amphis one more time. I think he actually had a good look at that. Ends up taking it away from Torsos, trying to tap it away from the NRG defense. Torsos just up too early, thinking he needs to get ahead of the NRG defense, and when you have to make that decision in a fraction of a second, you get crossed up.
You saw that play there from Ground Zero. Express leaving the mid boost, instead opting to go for that blocking position. The general NRG sniffing it out. Ground Zero remaining calm on the comms. You can see them calling each other off. But almost tripping over each other's feet there. Still a scoreless game.
Oh, geez, Express. That's a scary one to have him have the space around the corner, because saw what Amphis could do, and actually a lot of success on both of Ground Zero's goals really did, like you say, come from Amphis, but also specifically out of tight control out of the corner.
It's still
another attempt as NRG is struggling to convert a clear, and somehow they're going to win a challenge on the goal line.
Ground Zero starting to heat up. NRG, they're on the back foot. As Amphis goes for the center, Express will have a pass back. The shot will be saved from Justin. It was going near post. Justin sniffed it out.
Very clever idea as well. It's not an easy line to that near top corner from that angle. And they were counting on NRG trying to dive across the net and make the save to the easier spot to shoot. And somehow the composure on the goal line to stick with it.
You can tell both teams playing safe. They don't want to concede that first goal. This is looking like a one-goal game. Under a minute left to play. Ground Zero.
Oh, such control.
The shot saved from Justin. Rebounded Torsos, and he can't make much contact, and the general NRG able to break out of their own half.
And that's really where you see the flaw in that Ground Zero approach right there. I mean, when you have Garrett G kind of hamstrung in the back of the net, not really able to decide if he needs to drive up the back to come out and make a save or stop himself and go on the goal line, he's essentially giving you a free look. And if you're Torsos there, you gotta deliver in that opportunity, because NRG doesn't give you too many looks like that one, as Amphis almost able to convert the flip reset. Now it's a race between Squishy and Garrett. They're going to go right at Torsos, and he's going to turn it in.
Squishy out of boost, seemingly out of options, but the save comes down right at him. Torsos needed to keep that higher, needed to get that out of the clutches of Squishy Muffins.
Literally anywhere but where he put it. Up, left, right, forward. Unfortunately, only touch went down and right into the waiting arms of Squishy with 18 seconds no less, and only 10 now for Ground Zero.
Garrett happy to waste more time. Express a final chance, but he'll bail out. Amphis, can he keep it alive? No, he cannot. The general NRG move up 2-0 in the series.
Not an easy one. Again, I actually feel like Ground Zero, to be honest, played the better game here. They definitely held a lot more pressure. You can see with 9 shots to only 4 for NRG. So they've definitely dialed in how they want to approach things. Express getting more involved. And unfortunately for them, they couldn't convert their one chance that they really needed to turn in. And that's the one that's going to stick with you, too.
A nice chance it was as well. I mean, Amphis doing so much work, generating opportunities. You even saw him go for that late flip reset, trying to beat out the general NRG. The shots, Justin had 2 fantastic saves. That one hard shot near post, that I thought was going in for Ground Zero.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time it would be. It was an excellently approached shot and well placed. And like you said, you got to give credit to Justin as well, keeping that one out of the net. And I would like to see Ground Zero play the exact same game, to be honest, because, you know, it's really on NRG to continue to perform at that level defensively when you're putting that many quality chances towards the net.
Everything going right except that final shot, but it was a game. Ground Zero. However, they are out of lives, Achieves. They started off this major playing Envy, the first match that we saw on the mainstream. Now, this is the last match in what could be the final game unless they find a win here.
Nice little bump there from Express on Justin, kind of stalling out this NRG push. Really just jammed in the corner, and it's kind of all up in the air for who's going to be the one to come down with it. As shot from NRG, Torsas needs a little boost, which means Justin wisely cuts in because he realized the opportunity, but it's a battle for possession right now. No one able to hold a clear advantage.
Express, he let that get away from him. Amphis backwards will still be able to make the play. Talk about improv from Amphis. A nice touch. Torsas was too far away, but the demo comes out. Ground Zero on the attack. The 50 from Torsas. And now Justin will relieve a lot of pressure there. Express, the follow-up, getting in that lane.
Dump it to him. Oh, he's too fast. You already knew. Justin seemingly always that deep third for NRG. So quick at recognizing where the play is headed. Will cut down another look as Torsas denied at the top of the box.
Another shot coming in. NRG a bit out of position. Express has Amphis, but Justin throwing a wrench into the plans. Torsas blocking the flip reset.
Ooh, awkward look here on defense for Ground Zero. Definitely a lot of extra time for NRG to get reset. Amphis already knew he had NRG beat there and dropped down. Aggressive push from Justin, gets away from him, and Squishy really trying to force this one to stay on offense and almost able to convert. Amphis just able to give the ball a little tip.
Oh!
And NRG unable to break down Ground Zero. What a stand.
The goal line stand from Ground Zero. Will it be enough? The slow play shut down from Justin. Hard pass over to Squishy. Squishy shoots low. He read the defense like a book.
You're absolutely right. This was all about placement here. You can see Express just on the start of that replay rotating hard into the near post. And then as soon as you see that long kick back across the box with that much pace way over his back shoulder, you already know he's going to dive so hard back into the net. Squishy just hits him with a slow, easy bouncer right under him. Great placement.
When it's in that 1v1 situation, ooh. A lot of times it is placement over power. Another chance for the general NRG. Squishy will have Garrett in the middle, but opts to take it himself. We saw Squishy win a game for the general NRG on a dunk. Going for it again there. The general NRG still pressuring.
And they're really not wanting to give up any pressure. Amphis, that's a great idea. I mean, there's great communication right there from Ground Zero to realize that Amphis has the time to power slide back around, get himself sitting under the ball, and try and break the pressure that NRG have been throwing at him for the past minute or so. And you really have to value that communication and that approach on defense to not panic. It's real easy to do against a team like NRG as, why does it go in with nobody up for it?
We'll take another look on the replay. You see Express tipping it out and decided to stay on the back wall, giving too much space.
And unfortunately, he wasn't even facing the right way. I mean, you can't really fault which way he's facing. It just happens to be the way he placed the ball. He didn't actually have any way to come down and get it. And the guy on the ground probably thinking there's somebody on the backboard. That's easier for them to get to.
Squishy. Chance to put another one in. It's going to be high and wide. And talk about being a nuisance on defense. Justin has been a thorn in the side on defense. Now, getting blocked by Torsas. I was sure that was going in.
Torsas has been phenomenal defensively for Ground Zero, keeping so many strong approaches from NRG out of the net. But that's been only half of the equation. You gotta be a complete team to beat him, and the offense just hasn't been able to bring the arms to bear here.
Under a minute left to play. Ground Zero.
Oh, wow.
Their defense holding up, but they need some offense right away. Another shot will be good for NRG. Justin putting NRG up 3-0. It looks like they have this one in the bag, Achieves.
It's looking that way. 3 up, 48 seconds. Ground Zero really have made them work for their meal, though. They've had to fire a lot of solid shots on target. A lot of stingy defense from Ground Zero, and unfortunately just not always able to keep up. That game 2 really was an excellent show from Ground Zero, but unable to repeat the offensive performance, unfortunately. And they're going to need a miracle here to convert in game 3 and keep the tournament going.
Oh, the pitch pass, and that shot will be right at the defender. Ground Zero showing heart in this final matchup. That game 2, that was really the critical point, Achieves. That was Ground Zero's game. They had the pressure on NRG. They had the shot advantage. They just could not find that one goal to be the difference maker. And the general NRG, they had a rough start. They got run through the ringer. But in the end, they fought through and made it past the Swiss stage and into the playoffs.
And much like you see many teams qualifying here for the major, doesn't really matter how you end up there. And NRG kind of have the same route to make the playoffs tomorrow. So an awkward run, but it's done and they're through, and that's all that counts. And Ground Zero, and of course, Justin clearly having to give Squishy a big hug. He did play well.
Yeah, can you question the team chemistry from NRG?
And well played overall from Ground Zero. You really can't find too many faults other than unfortunately not able to win enough pressure and give themselves more chances on offense because, like you said, when that game 2 came around, they were putting the pressure on NRG, really making them play solid defense to keep them out of the net. It looked like an excellent approach and the right one, I felt. Just not able to get it going often